Fighters from the Revenge Tactical Group, part of Ukraine's International Legion under the Military Intelligence Agency GUR, have been clearing out positions on the outskirts of Stepnohirsk in the Zaporizhzhia region. Russian forces have been trying to dig in there, building trenches, shelters, and semi-permanent firing points to strengthen their hold on the area and slow down Ukrainian movement. The Ukrainian operation is focused on wiping out those newly built positions, stopping them from turning into a solid defensive line, and keeping their own tactical mobility in the southern sector. In modern ground warfare, clearing positions isn't just about taking territory, it's about making sure the enemy can't come back and use it again. Operations like this usually involve heavy reconnaissance with drones and long-range observation, followed by precise, limited strikes. After that, troops check and dismantle defensive structures like trenches and field bunkers, then secure the area so it can't be retaken. Stepnohirsk itself is strategically important because it sits near key movement routes, offers strong observation over surrounding terrain, and acts as a buffer zone between active defensive lines on both sides. If permanent defenses take hold there, it could shift local control and slow down future offensive operations. South of the Zaporizhzhia front line, there's a key land route that runs toward Tokmak and Melitopol. This corridor is a major pathway for moving troops, transporting supplies, and keeping the southern areas connected. If that route gets disrupted or cut off, the flow of equipment and military support could be seriously weakened. That's why this area is so important and one of the most heavily contested spots on the southern front. It basically means short, targeted attacks aimed at very specific spots like firing positions, supply routes, or small groups of troops holding ground. The goal isn't to destroy everything, it's just to put enough pressure on the defending side to make them pull back, lose their footing, or stop holding the position effectively. Once they weaken or leave, the attacking side moves in, checks the area, and makes sure it can't be used again. Simple, fast, and focused. Fighting around Stepnohirsk in the Zaporizhzhia region isn't happening through one big decisive assault. Instead, it's more of a constant back-and-forth struggle over small pieces of ground. Reports from the area say both sides are trying to grab and hold small tactical spots, especially on the outskirts of town, along roads, and inside buildings that can be used for cover or observation. In many cases, troops move into a house, a street, or a small section of the area and manage to take control, but often only for a short time. Not long after, a counterattack comes in and pushes them back out again. So the situation keeps shifting. One side moves in, the other pushes back. Positions change hands again and again. This isn't about large armored breakthroughs or sweeping advances. It's more like constant pressure, small units moving carefully, looking for openings, trying to gain just a little more ground at a time. When one side takes a position, the other responds quickly with targeted fire or a small counter-push to take it back. That means control over the area can change within hours, sometimes even faster. Basically, nothing stays secure for long. Even though the areas being fought over might seem small, a few houses, a road, a block of buildings, they still matter a lot. Holding even a small position can improve visibility, give better firing angles, or make movement easier for nearby units. Losing it can do the opposite. That's why both sides keep fighting hard for ground that might look minor on a map, but can make a real difference on the battlefield. The front around Stepnohirsk is highly unstable. It's not about one big push, it's about constant pressure, quick reactions, and small pieces of territory changing hands over and over. The line may not move far, but it never really stays still.
Vai вестише сюда, сюда, в бік, вліво.
All this back and forth fighting around Stepnohursk isn't just about holding a few streets or buildings. It sits along a wider line of pressure that stretches further south toward one of the most important hubs in the entire sector, Tokmak. If control around Stepnohursk keeps shifting, that pressure doesn't stay local. It moves down the line. And every change in momentum, even small ones, can affect how secure the routes leading toward Tokmak really are. Because Tokmak isn't just another town. It's a major logistics node, a gateway, a link deeper into the southern corridor. So the real question is the fighting around Stepnohursk just local positioning? Or is it shaping the conditions for something bigger near Tokmak? Because in modern warfare, major breakthroughs don't usually start with one massive attack. They start with pressure, slow, steady, and deliberate. Positions get tested, defenses get probed, weak points get exposed. That's exactly what fighting like this can do. Every time control shifts around Stepnohursk, it forces units to reposition. It stretches supply lines. It reveals how fast reinforcements can respond or how slow they can't. Over time, that constant pressure can wear down defensive stability further south. And that's where Tokmak comes in. If pressure keeps building along this axis, even small tactical gains could begin to connect, turning scattered clashes into a more coordinated push. Not overnight, but step by step. Because once defensive lines start reacting instead of controlling the situation, momentum can change quickly. So the real issue isn't just who holds ground today. It's whether this steady pressure is quietly shaping the battlefield for a much larger move toward Tokmak.
Estamos demorando muito.
Tokmak isn't just another point on the map, it's a key hub that helps keep the southern defensive network connected. Roads, supply routes, troop rotations, a lot of movement depends on that area staying stable and secure. If pressure keeps building and defenses around Tokmak start getting stretched, even slightly, it could force a chain reaction. Units may have to pull back to reinforce weak spots. Supply routes might need to be rerouted. Response times could slow down. And in a frontline environment, even small delays can matter a lot. That's how momentum shifts, not always with a dramatic breakthrough, but with gradual strain that builds over time until something finally gives. Right now, the fighting around Stepnohursk may look like limited local clashes. But if that pressure keeps flowing south, it could start shaping decisions, movements, and defensive priorities across a much wider area. So the situation remains fluid. Not explosive, not decisive yet, but steadily building pressure in a direction that everyone is watching. Because if the balance begins to change near Tokmak, the entire southern front could feel it.
Плюс спостерігай.